Started in tears, ended with a smile. In a forgotten corner of a crowded city, in a crumbling old house, lived a young woman named Ira, a rare name meaning snow in Old Norse, symbolizing purity and quiet strength. Ira's childhood was anything but easy. Her father had abandoned them when she was just a toddler, leaving her mother to scrape by, collecting scraps and cleaning stairwells just to put stale bread on the table. Ira often went to school in patched-up clothes, her shoes barely holding together. Some classmates would mock her, and even a few teachers looked at her with pity, though she hated their pity more than the teasing. But through it all, Ira never allowed her tears to make her bitter. Every night, when she cried herself to sleep, she made herself a promise. One day, these tears will water the seeds of my dreams. One winter evening, after a particularly cruel day at school, Ira sat under an old bridge, knees tucked under her chin, tears streaming down her cold cheeks. Her mother found her there, wrapped her thin coat around her, and whispered, "Greater than darling, don't fear your tears. Anyone can start in tears, but the brave finish with a smile." Those words sank deep into Ira's bones. From that day, she clung to them like a secret charm. As soon as she finished high school, Ira took a job at a tiny sewing workshop. It was damp, drafty, and smelled of dust and old fabric. She worked during the day, and at night she taught herself more, watching online videos in the glow of her battered phone, practicing stitches on rags she found in the trash. Many nights she fell asleep with needle and thread in her hands, her tears dropping onto the fabric. Some days people tricked her. A customer would run away without paying, or someone would steal her designs. Each betrayal stung like salt in her wounds, but each time Ira heard her mother's voice echo, "Greater than started in tears, finish with a smile." Years passed. Ira saved every penny. Finally, she scraped together enough to rent a tiny garage on the edge of town. Its roof leaked when it rained. The walls were cracked, but to Ira it was a castle of possibilities. There, she started her own micro studio, Aurora Threads. Her first designs were made from leftover cloth and discarded curtains. When people saw them, they laughed. "Who'd wear that old rubbish?" they sneered. But Ira only smiled. She knew beauty could bloom from what others threw away. One day, she heard about a local showcase for up-and-coming designers. Big names from the city's fashion scene would attend. Ira used every last scrap of fabric she had, piecing together dresses that told her story. Resilience in lace, hope in silk, courage in every seam. When the day came, Ira stood backstage with trembling hands. She saw the other designers in sleek suits, models wrapped in expensive materials. Ira felt her old fear creep back. "You don't belong here." But then she reached into her pocket and felt a worn scrap of paper, a note from her mother. "Greater than tears make the soul soft for flowers to bloom." Ira whispered to herself, "I started in tears. I will finish with a smile." When her designs hit the runway, the crowd fell silent. Then the applause rose, hesitant at first, then thunderous. People saw not just dresses, but the soul stitched into them. They saw the story of a girl who refused to be broken. But success did not erase hardship. After the show, Ira's studio grew fast, maybe too fast. Some of her first employees betrayed her trust, stealing ideas and clients. One night she sat alone on the floor of her little studio, tears rolling down her cheeks, thinking, "How can people be so cruel when I give them all I have?" Then she remembered, the world will test kind souls the hardest, not to break them, but to make them stronger. Ira wiped her tears, stood up, and rebuilt her team, this time choosing not just skillful hands, but loyal hearts. Years later, an old friend who had once betrayed her came back. Her name was Aislinn, an Irish name meaning dream. She wept as she stood at Ira's studio door. "Ira, I made a mistake. I thought I'd find success on my own, but I only found loneliness. Will you forgive me?" Ira looked at her for a long moment. In her heart, she felt the weight of every betrayal, but also the warmth of every lesson learned. She smiled. "I started in tears, Aislinn. I won't end in bitterness. If your heart is true now, we begin again." Ira's studio became a haven for those who once had nothing. Single mothers, young runaways, refugees. They learned to sew not just fabric, but new lives. Her brand, once born in a damp garage, now appeared on runways from London to Paris. But wherever Ira went, she carried her mother's note in her pocket. When people asked her the secret to her designs, she would say, "Greater than I put a piece of my tears in every stitch. And that's why they shine. I started in tears, but I finish with a smile." Today, Aurora Threads is more than a fashion house. It's a symbol, a place where people believe that no beginning is too broken to lead to something beautiful. When young girls with tearful eyes come to her for advice, Ira hands them a simple piece of paper with words she once read under a bridge. Greater than your tears are not your weakness. They are your roots. Let them feed your dreams. And when you bloom, bloom with a smile. Started in tears, ended with a smile. And Ira's story still reminds everyone. No matter how dark your beginning, there is always a light waiting at the end. If you keep walking, keep believing, and never stop stitching your dreams together.